Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatem, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Da is for Deen, al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and rise for the month of Ramadan.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. We are glad to welcome you to another rewarding episode of the most informative and responsive TV program on Zakat related matters, Paths to Paradise.
We are happy and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us witness this new month, and on behalf of the entire management of Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation, we say Jazakumullah khairan to all of you out there.
Please stay tuned as we take you on this path to paradise. As usual, my name is Maruf Ahmad.
I'm Ms. Baudin Ismail.
We'll be right back with the lecture segment after this time out.
Stay tuned.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salawatullah Rasulil Kareem. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika la. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Ba'du fasalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear viewers and listeners, today's attention will shift to spiritual dimension, to the issue of educating and educating the orphans and vulnerable children. Yes, it has spiritual dimension beyond just the physical, the material, the concern. As we all know that human beings are human beings, we tend to feel that we know all or we can do whatever we like. We forget an aspect which is Yawma Tubla Sarair, the day when all that we do that people never knew will come to open. That's Judgment Day. And we're equally told in the Quran, Surah Al-Zilzala, that تَحَدُثُ أَخْبَارَهَا بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ وَحَالَهَا. The earth will speak, will mention names, will mention center, will mention places, will mention organizations, what they have done. Because some take the advantage of people's situation and they do other evils. When we talk of orphans, or those who are vulnerable, is a thing of concern that one should be thinking of helping, not using as a means of enriching oneself. So unfortunately, some people will take it as an avenue to enrich themselves. Now, do we know that there are some living but dead parents? Because the concern is usually for orphans. We assume who, of course, parents have died, or they have no guidance, or they don't have proper care. What of parents who are even living and they are dead? How are they? It's simply because such parents have no care for their children. They have no attention for their children. They are not bothered how the children survive. They are not bothered what they eat. They are not bothered what they wear. How could such claim their parents? Do they not realize that it's a spiritual, it's a serious offense to have brought a child to life, to have fathered a child, to have given birth to them and fail to take care of them? It's not about just them, it's about the hereafter. So that is one angle we have to get spiritually. Some parents kill their children alive by not caring for them as expected, or by not being for them there when they need them. So parents are after money. They run after the world, but on the long run, when they now want to realize, it will be late. Not all children are bad. Most children are just, even not just good, they are best. But when the parents now don't play their roles, especially in the modern times that things, dynamics of social life is changing. When children need more, parents more is when they are not around. In the past, when the challenges we have now, ranging from different technology, the tech, the everything that we have now, they were not there before. The parents were available. But now that we have those challenges, the social media, the internet, the Facebook, the YouTube, the QZone, the Snapchat, the everything is occupying them, is engaging them. The movies of 180 minutes, the various things they watch, that corrupting the mind, corrupting the soul, is then the parents are pursuing other things. So some parents are the cause of what happened to their children. So from the spiritual angle, some parents make their children orphan even when they have not even died. And they are better buried than to be being alive. That's one angle. Second, such parents who are guilty of not playing their role, that not make their children to become wayward, to become homeless or vagabond or tramps or whatever, they are menace to society. Because of their misdoing, because of their negligence, their nonchalance, they have destroyed the future of their children. So because some children may not be able to get over it, they have also, because of their failure, destroyed the future of this society or the future of the nation. Because such children may manage to emerge in the future as leaders. And when they become leaders, because they've lacked parental care, proper training, you see them behaving when they get to power in a very terrible manner. Such parents will account to God when they return to Him, because they have failed in their duty, and their failure has caused society a colossal loss. Secondly or thirdly, you see, having the means, some have the means in this society to help the children, to help the overseas. But what happens? They look away. They don't bother. Why should I bother myself? Rather than helping these overseas, rather than helping these people, they invest, they spend money on entertainments. It's very unfortunate. Look at the B Nigeria, for example, where somebody will, 22 of them in the house, doing what? Doing pornography, and one will be going home with almost 90 million for just being somewhere, not doing something serious. And we have children, 90 million, imagine. If you go outside there, get children who have no care, who have no home. We spend 90 million on them, my dear brothers and listeners. What do you think their fate will become? But here we are not bothered. Somebody will dance because he can dance very well. We spend 10 million, 20 million on them. Here we are in a world that has lost value. Not until we return to giving attention, to what values, to what matters, then society can get peace. So we need to start thinking that way. Those who have the means, as a rich person, don't just spend your money anyhow. Just make the money you spend have value. You can just focus on this overseas stuff. You need to start spending money on entertainment to please. Don't please people. Please your Lord, please your God. Please those, try to be part of those who will change the faith, who will change the narrative of children who have lost hope. That should be your concern. And that's one too. You have to follow up. Because talking of spiritual dimension, somebody who asks to go and do on your behalf money will not get there. We have people who siphon the money belonging to the orphan, belonging to those who are physically challenged. It's a big problem. The society has gone to the abyss that people even eat, they devour properties, money belonging to those who are suffering at times. They can raise money from any source, any platform. At the long run, they'll see share it among themselves. So we have to know that it's a spiritual issue. And such men or women who have the means and fail to spend appropriately, they should get ready to account before God. Because if account, they are custodians. God knows that He can't give everybody this thing. But because He has given it, He expects them to show humanity, to show human feeling. But they have failed. You account to God for that. As for a Muslim, we must see that it's a spiritual duty in this ummah to make sure that we care for those overseas, the orphans and vulnerable children. We must see it as a spiritual duty, that not just a matter of just praying salat. Our salat has no meaning. Our zakat has no meaning. Our fasting has no meaning. If we fail to see that all children matter, we have to think about them. If we don't have the means, we can connect those who have the means, contact them, connect them, arrange, so that all those children will be tailored towards the path of their Lord. That's an angle to the OVC too. The other angle is, area of spiritual dimension, is that there are those that will mobilize funds, yes, locally and internationally, that they want to help the orphans, help the less privileged, help the homeless, help this, help that, this illness. But at the long run, what happens to the money? You see them siphoning the money because they feel that nobody can take them to account. They will tell you that this is where they are getting their own. But it's unfortunate. Spiritually, if money you have mobilized, it's a different thing. That okay, maybe your services you want to quantify. It's a different thing. Now, to not just make the money and you want to start spending it for yourself. Such people, they should know that Allah can punish them in this very world. It can make you suffer what you can't recover from. It can make your children suffer what other children are suffering. That is why we should not take advantage of situations like this to help the overseas. Then, in this case whereby we see people who are abandoned or homeless or whatever, and we look away, it's a spiritual problem too, because we believe that is their problem. But the Allah servants, we have to assist them. As Muslims, based on the hadith of the Prophet, we must know that when you join hands to help the poor, all these overseas, Prophet said that the best house is where such things are done. You are helping the overseas. The second one that this says that Prophet said that on Judgment Day, those who help these orphans and vulnerable children, Prophet says that you will be together like this in Al-Jannah, because you have saved the fate of the world by doing that very well. So there's a reward for it beyond this very world. Even this world, at times you get reward, because such children grow up to become great in life and they will not forget you. And lastly too, when you spend on this kind of venture, this kind of project, you get more blessing from Allah. And Allah can even protect you from all calamities because of it. So please, let us see the spiritual angle of this very education of the orphans and vulnerable children. We pray to Allah to be our guide as we move on. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. On our second segment today, we will inshallah be showing you the highlights from one of our projects, which has been made possible by your donations and your contributions.
Please don't go away. We will be back after the highlights of the event.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
The Grand Chief Imam of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Sheikh Abdul Ghani Abubakar Agbotomokekere, has urged government at all levels to pay more attention to the third pillar of Islam, which is zakat. The clergy who spoke at this year's annual zakat distribution ceremony of the Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation, Oyo State chapter, also commend the foundation for its transparency.
bá ní gbogbo nǹkan tí èèyàn fi máa sọ pé olóríire lẹ́ni táwọn èèyàn máa wò pẹ́ńtọ́ bá ní nǹkan ìlú olóríire ọlọ́run ò fi ròyìn àwọn sàábì ànábì wa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. àkọ́kọ́ nǹkan tí èèyàn máa wò sọ pé olóríire ńlágbájá lówó wà ọlọ́run ò fowó ròyìn wọn. ọlọ́run ní lil fuqara alladhina ukhriju fi sabilillah, òsì ni ọlọ́run fi ròyìn wọn. ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì nínú tá a máa wò, a máa ń wo pípọ̀ pé ẹbí wọn ló tóbi jù ń lu wa, olóríire ni wọn. ọlọ́run ò fi pípọ̀ ròyìn wọn. kam min fi'atin qalilatin ghalabat fi'atan kathiratan bi'idhnillah. ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta nínú tá a máa wò tá a fi máa ròyìn èèyàn, òun náà ni wípé a máa ń wo agbára. àwọn làṣẹ ìlú ń bẹ lọ́dọ̀ wọn o, ẹ má dọ́dọ̀ wọn o. ọ̀lẹ lọ́lọ́run pé àwọn sàábì àyùsọ̀ sallam, al'ana khaffafa Allahu ankum wa alima anna fikum du'afa. pẹ̀lú gbogbo tá a wá máa wò tọ́lọ̀ òní kíkọ́kọ́ wà lára wọn, ọlọ́run tó wá ní kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas gbogbo ẹ̀dá tí mo ti ń dá láyé ẹ̀yin ìjọ ànábì lólóríire ẹ̀yin sàábì ànábì lẹ́ńtọ́ dáa fún ẹ̀yin sàábì ànábì ní olóríire èèyàn láyé kí ni ẹ fi sóríire ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhawna 'anil munkar in tó ti fẹ́ bàjẹ́ nú ẹ̀sìn dáadáa ẹ̀yin lẹ gbé dání in táyé ti gbàgbé nú tọlọ́run ẹ̀yin lẹ jẹ́ kán máa rántí ẹ̀ ẹ rí i pé àríkánul islam tó jẹ́ 5 ó ti di 4 máa wà lọ́wọ́ zakati ti dágbére kò sí zakati mọ́ kódà àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ gbọ́ wá sí ẹ̀ gbogbo wa la ṣe Ramadan lecture ta ló fi zakati sí program kò sí àyàfi ọmọ mélòó lè sùrí níjẹ́ ò láàkú nínú owó àtọmọta alàgbà ìta fún àfa àtọ̀fẹ́ ṣe wá sí ní 100,000 owó epo fúnnu ṣùgbọ́n zakati yẹ àlérí inú tọ́pìkì wa ó ti dágbére débi wípé irun zakati lọ tẹ̀lé àwa wọ́dọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba wa gbé ìgbìmọ̀ kalẹ̀ tí mójútó run wọ́n gbé ìgbìmọ̀ kalẹ̀ tí mójútó zakat ìgbìmọ̀ alálàájì wa kọ̀ wá sí ìgbìmọ̀ òrùn pé aago mẹ́rọ àsìkò ro ni irun tó níbo ló yá máa kọjú sí kírun ju wa nítorí pé yìí ọ̀yọ́wó tó bá wá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ó yẹ kí àwa mùsùlùmí ká pera wa padà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ zakat bàbá ní ká kí gbogbo àwọn jàmáà wa àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa tí wọ́n bẹ ń zakat and sadaka foundation pé ọlọ́run ní pín yín pa o ọlọ́run sì ní yọ yín níṣẹ́.
While delivering his lecture, the Imam of Al-Sunnah Mosque, Owode, Oyo State, Imam Lukman Abdurrafiu, shared the importance of paying zakat and giving sadaqah as stated by Allah. The Oyo State coordinator of Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation, Dr. Abdurrafiu Musa, stated the amount generated and how it's been shared among 68 people out of 215 that applied.
In 2018, 1.3 million naira were collected. In 2019, we collected 2.3 million, and in 2020, we collected 3.6 million. All these collections were disbursed accordingly to qualified needy Nigerians which are beneficiaries from across the states after they have been screened to meet various needs. This year, over 6.5 million collected will be disbursed to 68 beneficiaries out of about 215 prospective applicants who applied for various needs. This, in addition, about 750,000 have been disbursed to over 15 widows to support them during the last International Widows Day.
The executive director of Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation, Prince Sulaiman Olagunju, who was represented by the ED Waqf, Ahmad Maruf, commend Oyo State chapter for generating more than the previous year, as well as their determination to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor.
Sadaqah bí wáàfù ni bàbá yẹn ṣe pẹ̀lú Zakaton sọ yẹn, that means in Oyo State we can be able to mobilize close to 10 million and we can do more. Nígbà tí mo wà ní Ìlọrin lánàá mo ń sọ fún wọn wípé tálíkà mo ti sọ́ńbì náà rí ní last year tí mi bá gbàgbé pé tálíkà lè dojú ti àwọn olówó táwọn olówó bá gbó wọn wá ní àfẹ́ ní gbogbo Ọ̀yọ́ state mi ní Ìbàdàn nìkan o a lè wá tì 1 million Muslims tó máa fún wa ní 1,000 naira lọ́dún kìí ṣe lóṣooṣù 1 million Muslims tó wà committed ká máa type orúkọ wọn àti phone number àwọn ò ní agbára sàká ṣùgbọ́n abẹ́ máa fún yín ní 1,000 lọ́dún ní o kìí ṣe lóṣù ẹ máa san sí àkáǹtì Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation ní Ọ̀yọ́ State ẹ jọ àwọn tó mọ ìṣirò mathematics 1 million naira times 1,000 naira èló ni that is 1 billion naira. So tálíkà lè empower ara wọn ẹ má dodo lówó tabari 1 billion naira jọmọ níbi tó bá wọlé sí kódà kó jẹ́ gbogbo Ọ̀yọ́ state ni kì í ṣe Ìbàdàn nìkan níbi tí 1 billion bá wọlé sí àwọn tálíkà mọ̀ ẹ́ pé nǹkan dé tábà wá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́dún mẹ́rin márùn-ún ẹ wá wo orí tó ṣì máa sá lọ tó lówó kan bá wá ń bọ̀ kàdìkàdì á ní ewu tó bá wù yín ní kẹ́ ṣe kí ni kẹ́ mú wá tó bá wù yín kẹ́ ṣe kí ni kẹ́ mú dání àwa tálíkà ti ṣe kí ni o àti tó gbọ́ bùkátà ara wa so ká má rò pé a lè yọra wa kúrò níbi tá a lè yọra wa a kàn wá ń fojú kéré páwà àtagbára ta nínú tá a bá pa agbára wa pọ̀ olówó wa lé wa ní ẹjọ́ èmi náà fẹ́ wà lọ́nà ẹgbà tèmi náà tá a bá yọ sádàkọ̀ la sọ yẹn tá a bá sọ pé a fẹ́ focus lórí zakat wípé tá a bá gbogbo Ọ̀yọ́ state kì í ṣe Ìbàdàn ní o yàfẹ́ 100,000 Ọ̀yọ́ state indigene 100,000 kí gbogbo wọn san minimum zakat based on nisab ọdún 1,453,528 oní nisab táwa sọ pé a sì kí oníkálukú tá a fẹ́ yàn ní àwọn 100,000 yóò lè jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ káàkan azum ìgbà wọn 100,000 yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ san minimum zakat which is 36,333 naira or thereabout. That's the minimum. So if I divide it by 40 or 2.5%, iye tó máa fún wa nìyẹn. Ẹ wá multiply 36,330 times 100,000. Ó máa fún wa ní 3.6 billion. So if 100,000 zakat payers give you minimum zakat, you can still solve the problem of poverty.
The state coordinator thanked all donors and subscribers for entrusting their donations with ZSF, with a special mention of Mr. Abdullahi Hassan Mohammed, a foreigner who has so far sunk 3 water boreholes in 2 years. Beneficiaries took turns to express their feelings.
Kí ni ìpèníjà tí ẹ kọ sínú ìwé tí ẹ fi ṣọwọ́ sí wọn?
Ìpèníjà mi ni pé mo nídìí máṣíìnì ìránṣọ ṣe máṣíìnì.
Níbo lẹ ti ń ránṣọ náà?
Ní Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ mo wà.
Ǹjẹ́ nígbà tí ẹ tiẹ̀ lọ bá wọn pé ẹ fẹ́ kí wọ́n fún yín máṣíìnì, ǹjẹ́ ọkàn yín tiẹ̀ ń wòye pé ṣé wọ́n máa fún yín báyìí?
Insha Allah mo nígbàgbọ́ pé yóò ṣe é ṣe.
Ẹ ń wòye pé yóò ṣe é ṣe.
Nígbà
tí wọ́n wá pè yín pé kẹ́ wá gbà, báwo ló ṣe rí lọ́kàn yín?
Inú mi dùn púpọ̀.
Orí pé bú sẹ́rìn sí i.
Tí ẹ mọ bí inú mi ṣe dùn sí, mo dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ṣá. Mo dúpẹ́ gan pẹ̀lú Islamic Foundation, mo dúpẹ́ gan. Mo dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run ṣá.
Àwa fẹ́ kẹ́ ṣàdúrà fáwọn tó ń fún wa lówó yìí.
Gbogbo àwọn tó ń ṣe àtọ̀nà Islamic Foundation tán ná sọ́ọ̀kùn tán náà sì wọ́n ní ṣìṣe láwọn máa lo òkè ni wọ́n ní lọlẹ̀ àlọ́ àti àbọ̀ ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan ò ní ṣìṣe so àlùbáríkà wọn máa lékún ni
wala quwwata illa billah.
Mo ní di generator láti fi improve iṣẹ́ ń pa furniture tí mo ń ṣe ni.
Ẹ ti ní àwọn iṣẹ́ yòókù?
Mo ti láwọn díẹ̀ náà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà gbọ́ generator yẹn ló tó wá jẹ́ nǹkan bí owó ńlá tó lè di tó ṣèdíwọ́ fún mi díẹ̀ láti fi rà.
Ǹjẹ́ nígbà tí ẹ tiẹ̀ wá mú lẹ́tà wá sí iléeṣẹ́ wọn, ṣé ọkàn yín tiẹ̀ balẹ̀ kí wọ́n fún yín bí?
Ìyẹn ọkàn mi ò balẹ̀ náà lé lórí ṣùgbọ́n mo fi gbàgbọ́ sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run náà ni.
Nígbà tí wọ́n wá pè yín pé kẹ́ wá gbà ńkọ́?
Kódà inú mi dùn náà ni lé lórí. Alhamdulillah.
Èyí tó ń dùn yẹn náà abẹ́kẹ́ fi ṣàdúrà fáwọn tó ń fún wa ní tọ́rọ́kọ́bọ̀ táwọn ìpín fún àwọn tálíkà.
Alhamdulillah, a dá ọpẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run bàálà. Eléyìí tí ó wá ṣe Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation tọdún tó wá ṣe rọrùn. Àwọn tó ń fún wa náà yálà wọn dá tọ́ra wọn dá kọ́bọ̀ náà tí wọ́n fi tètò náà fi wáyé náà àbí Ọlọ́run bàálà subhanahu wa ta'ala bí tẹ́ ẹnìkankan ní wọn náà ti mọ̀ àbí Ọlọ́run kó má jẹ́ kápò náà bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ó gbẹ. Àtàwa náà táwa gbà náà àbí Ọlọ́run bàálà subhanahu wa ta'ala kó tó dùbẹ̀ káwa náà túbọ̀ máa lékún sí. Àwọn tó fi sílẹ̀ náà àbí Ọlọ́run bàálà subhanahu wa ta'ala kó jẹ́ kọ́ láti wọn náà túbọ̀ máa lékún.
Mo ti ra àwọn iṣẹ́ díẹ̀ bọ̀ generator náà ló kù fún mi láti fi establish business tí mo ń ṣe.
Irú iṣẹ́ wo ni ẹ̀ ń ṣe?
Kọ̀m̀pútà ni mo ṣe, mo dẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn artist náà mọ̀.
Ní ìsìn tí ẹ wá wà yìí, ẹ mọ̀ pé generator tẹ fẹ́ gbà ó ṣe díẹ̀, ṣé ẹ ti rò pé wọ́n fún yín báyìí?
Mi ò lérò pé wọ́n máa fún mi bọ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti pè mí pé kí wọ́n gba inú mi dùn gan.
Inú mi dùn?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Nígbà tẹ gba àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àtàwọn tẹ wá tún wá fojú yín rí lé ní inú tí wọ́n dùn sí.
Kódà mo tún dùn kọjá tẹ́lẹ̀ gan lọ.
Yá ni àdúrà tẹ fẹ́ ṣe fáwọn tó ń fún wa lówó?
Mo ṣe àdúrà fún àwọn tí wọ́n fún wa lówó pé ọlá wọn yóò máa ròkè òun ò ní wáyé láéláé. Ǹdẹ̀ ṣàdúrà fún àwọn Zakat and Sadaqah pé odò bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe báyìí náà ni kó ti máa ṣe lọ torí odò ohun tó ń bá wa jà ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ó ti pọ̀ jù kọ́lọ́n sá máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ fún olè máa bá wa tẹ̀síwájú.
Mo ní I'm financially handicapped to buy my mo ní ìpèníjà láti ra irinṣẹ́.
What's your vocation?
Fashion designer.
Since when have you been working as a fashion designer?
Over a year.
So nígbà tí ẹ apply, were you hopeful pé you get the machine?
No.
Now, but when you were called, pé ẹ ti rí báwo ló ṣe, how did you feel?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy for it.
Satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now that you are happy, ẹ ṣàdúrà fún àwọn tí ń fún wa ní owó tá a fi ń rí iṣẹ́ ìṣe.
Alhamdulillah, agbára Ọlọ́run máa ṣàlékún àgbéga. Àwa náà dẹni tí ó mọ̀ san zakat àti sàdákà inshallah rahman. Gbogbo àwọn tó dẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ náà, àwọn olóòní á padà sí ibú. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kan rí inshallah rahman. Allah bismillah kúrò wà lọ. Mo ní ìpèníjà láti ra àwọn irinṣẹ́ kọ̀ǹpútà tí mò ń ṣe. Wọ́n dẹ̀ gbé láptọ̀pù fún ní ìkúnlọ́wọ́ iléeṣẹ́ Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation.
Ṣé laptop yẹn náà wà nínú irinṣẹ́ tẹ̀ ń bùkátà sí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà.
Ìgbà tí wọ́n wá pè yín kẹ́ wá gbà, báwo ló ṣe rí, ṣé inú yín dùn?
Inú mi dùn púpọ̀ nítorí pé oore ńlá náà ṣe fún mi.
Kọ́lọ́n kẹ́ fi ìdùnnú yẹn kẹ́ fi bá wa ṣàdúrà fún àwọn tó ń fún wa lówó.
Mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn society tí wọ́n dá Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation tó ń dá sílẹ̀. Kọ́lọ́n balẹ̀ kọ́lá kó bá wa ṣàlékún ìkẹ́ fún wọn, àtàlékún àánú fún wọn, àtàlékún ìdó ṣinṣin. Kọ́lọ́n kó bá wa pẹ̀lú gbogbo wọn.
Challenge ni pé mo nílò owó láti lè continue school mi, education mi.
School wo lẹ wà?
Mo ṣe fẹ́ wọ school ni.
Ẹ fẹ́ wọlé. Ṣé ti wá rà admission báyìí?
Àwọn process ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ but kò tí bọ̀ sí, kò ṣe process ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Wọ́n lè ṣe wá mọ̀ pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ fún yín ó máa tó yín ṣe processing nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́ ṣe.
Ìgbà tí wọ́n bá wọn pé àwọn máa ràn mí lọ́wọ́ ó tẹ̀ jẹ́ 100 level lásán, so wọ́n pé ṣáà máa help mi láti lè wọ́jọ́ 100 level lásán lọ́lẹ́ help mi tó bá lẹ́jọ́ lè fọ́dà.
Ṣé wọ́n ní tẹ́ bá ṣe admission àwọn á fún yín nìkan láti support?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Nígbà tí wọ́n wá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yín, báwo ló ṣe rí?
Inú mi dùn pé Ọlọ́run ti pèsè ohun ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún mi láti lè continue school mi. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Okay. Ẹ wá bá a ṣàdúrà fáwọn tó ń fún wa lówó tá a fi ń rí irú nǹkan báyìí ṣe.
Àdúrà mi ni pé Ọlọ́run á máa pèsè fáwọn náà, á máa bùkún wọn tí àwọn náà bá dẹ̀ wojú Ọlọ́run sí, táwọn bá wá ojú rere Ọlọ́run sí, Ọlọ́run á máa jẹ́ kó máa rí ń bẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ní kọ́kọ́ ò ní wọ́n wọn.
It is the hope of Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation that there will be more beneficiaries next year.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the most authoritative TV program on Zakat-related matters. That is Path to Paradise.
Always remember that at Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation, we do not discriminate nor show prejudice on religion or ethnic to our beneficiaries. And as we wrap up today's episode, please note that your donation will go a long way to put food on the tables and smiles on faces of so many families who are in their need.
Please donate as little as you can to Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation. Also, you can now watch our previous episodes of Path to Paradise on our YouTube channel. Simply search for Zakat and Sadaqa Foundation Nigeria to view our previous episodes. Also visit our website www.zakatandsadaqah.org.ng and follow us on our social media platforms for more information on what we do and our various services.
And we say, Masalam.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.